It looks like 50 Cent has cut another one of his homies off. I gotta say, this is the biggest cutoff since Young Buck. 50 Cent literally put the messages of Lil Meech on his Instagram page in front of 20 million plus people. This is worse than Young Buck getting exposed on thisis50.com for crying on the phone. But this all came after Big Meech decided to accept a show invitation from Rick Ross that several other artists were going to appear on as well. Artists like Lil Baby. So we're talking the cream of the crop. We're talking the hottest rappers that are on the, in the game right now, that are on the chart tops of Billboard, besides Kendrick Lamar and Drake coming out to support Big Meech. So a lot of people will be like, well, what's the problem with that? What's the issue with Big Meech getting a little bit of love? The problem is Big Meech went all over social media with Rick Ross. He went on social media with 50 Cent's biggest enemy, the guy who actually gave 50 a run for his money more than the rest. Sorry to say it, you guys. You know what I mean? Fat Joe, Jadakiss, the Locks, all these guys' career, the game's career, all these artists' career were drastically affected by beefing with 50 Cent. Rick Ross was seemingly the only artist that was able to thrive after his beef with 50. The game signed with Koch. Jadakiss and Styles P got their albums pushed back. Sheik Luch never got to even release on a major. You know what I'm saying? Nas, we all saw what happened to Nas after his beef with 50 Cent. But in reality, I mean, Nas signed with Jay-Z. We're not really going to include that so much. You can't include Shine. Shine was locked up for 10 years. You can't really put 50's impact on Shine. But we saw artists like Fat Joe's sales dry up to the point where they did like 50,000 first week. So you got to give 50 that. You got to give him that. He will shut down somebody's career. Look what happened to Young Buck. Young Buck put out a whole crying tape. He put out 50 put out a whole crying tape on Young Buck that he recorded. My guy Gilly the Kid didn't even know what that was, but there's still millions of people around the world that knew about that knew 50 Cent cut Young Buck off a G Unit after releasing that crying tape. So now Lil Meech actually wrote 50 Cent a message after his pops did the video with Ross. He's basically trying to explain to 50, yo, my pops needed some bread. 50 took this whole message and he put it on his Instagram page, you guys. And he's putting the little homie Meech on blast. And I saw a video of Little Meech who seemed pretty bummed out. You know what I mean? When you see Little Meech in videos, he's usually full of life, enjoying himself, acting like he's rich, enjoying the fruits of his labor, spending money, dropping cash wherever. But in this video, he seemed a little bit upset. Lil Meech, let me give you a little bit of a piece of advice. You've been on BMF for 3 seasons. You should have been able to propel this into an acting career, into a career outside of 50 Cent. When you had this role that went through the roof, you skyrocketed off this. I've seen on your social media, you do thousands of live viewers. I've seen you blow up in front of my eyes on social media. You should have gotten yourself a freaking agent. Why didn't you have one of the top agents in Hollywood by the second season of this show? You're doing great numbers and you should be progressing in your career to either getting another show, getting a movie, getting anything like that. You need to put your money where your mouth is. You need to get one of the top agents in the game. When 50 Cent dropped Lloyd Banks, when he dropped The Game, these dudes sold 500,000 plus units in a single week. They should have gotten the top agents in the music industry to represent them. Instead, Lloyd Banks was cool with having Sha Money. Sha Money, the guy who you came up with in the basement managing your career. Come on. You could have been the next Jay-Z, Lloyd Banks. You could have been the next Nas. You could have been at a level of an A-list rapper rather than now being relatively forgotten. I'm just saying. Lil Meech, you need to take this advice. You're 3-4 seasons in on BMF. You are at where Lloyd Banks was at for The Hunger for More. Take the ball and run with it. You do not need 50 Cent to lay out every single patch of your career. And 50 Cent doesn't have time to lay out every single direction and move for you to make. He's doing his own things. So Lil Meech actually texted 50. And honestly, I didn't think 50 would be putting what Big Meech is doing on his son. But 50 seemingly wants to completely remove himself, going as far to say if BMF season 4 doesn't do great ratings, he's pulling the plug. He's going to pull the plug on the show. 50 actually went on his social media and said some wild stuff. He actually said that Big Meech tricked Cuffy out of his freedom. He said Big Meech tricked Cuffy out of his freedom. He also went on to say, let me just read into some of this. Y'all probably know the story, but 50 Cent actually posted on his Instagram. He said the biggest mistake he ever made was not sustaining his relationship with Tammy. Her tell-all doc reveals the truth. He had Tammy doing all his dirty work. Her new tell-all breaks it down. Screech directed her and connected her to people to get his time cut. So 50 is right here accusing Big Meech of getting his time cut. And I read something somewhere else on a Reddit page that said that they were saying that Big Meech and Tammy were actually setting up people to make buys, which would put the police in the direction of where things were now that Big Meech was locked up, who was getting the weight, where it was going, what area of the town, what city, whatever, who the main players were. And they're saying this is what they did for Big Meech to actually get his time reduced. Others were saying, I never heard, how does a 30-year sentence get reduced after 19 years? You know how it gets reduced after 19 years. A lot of people commenting stuff like this. But for 50 to put Big Meech on blast, it's kind of like, so 50, you're kind of telling me that you knew about this information about Big Meech. It kind of says to me that 50 knew about this, but he still moved forward with it anyways. A lot of people out there saying, why doesn't 50 do something about his own hood, about the Supreme team? I see the comments. That right there is not something 50 could have got his hands on. But the Big Meech story with Tammy having the authorization for the rights, that's something 50 Cent could get a hold of and not break the bank. So let's get into this, because after it all sparked and 50 Cent put Meech on blast by saying, if the artists on the bill don't show up, are you going to want a refund? Big Screech is not even going to be there. He can't go out after 6 p.m. But don't take my word for it. Go ahead, knock yourself out. And I do believe that Little Baby pulled out of this concert. You know, a lot of the artists that get big paychecks to go perform anyways could be like, so what's going on here? I'm going to go show Big Meech love, and am I going to get paid? Or am I doing it just to show him the love? You know what I mean? Am I doing it just to go out there and get the look? Well, now the look is worse, because now 50 Cent doesn't even mess with Big Meech. Now the guy who actually brought the BMF show to the whole world doesn't even mess with Meech. He doesn't rock with Meech anymore. So that's going to put me in a situation if I go and mess with Meech. Now, I'm not saying that's why Little Baby backed out of the show. I looked at that like, okay, Lil Baby probably got a bigger paying gig. You know what I mean? We all remember what happened with Larry Hoover, Kanye West, and Drake, that whole show that they did. I'm just saying a lot of these artists out there get such big checks that if they're not officially locked into something, they could easily take another contract. 50 Cent brings up another very interesting point of view, though. He's saying that Big Meech, as he refers to as Big Screech, he said he's not even going to be there. He can't go out after 6 p.m. I'm wondering, does 50 know this as facts, or does 50 know this from previous information of him dealing with Tony Yayo when Tony Yayo was actually on the house arrest, the early curfew, once he got out of jail? Because there's a part of my mind that's like, what's going on here? Why would Big Meech be teaming up with Rick Ross? Why would Meech go team up with Rick Ross when he knows that his son has a direct line to 50 Cent, who literally just had the Vegas residency, literally just performed 100 plus shows around the world? If Big Meech wanted to get a actual tour set up to go around the world, then 50 Cent could have set him up for that. And 50 could have done it in a timely manner when he was off of the curfew and able to actually attend the shows. So all of that right there, it just screams out to me like, what the hell is going on? Why was there no conversation with Lil Meech and Big Meech? Why weren't they talking about doing a welcome home tour for Meech presented by 50 Cent? It makes absolutely no sense that he would go to 50 Cent's op to do something like this. And what did you expect? What did you expect? 50 was going to lose all respect. And now his son, Little Meech, actually condones it. Let's get into it. Let's get into the message that 50 actually exposed from Little Meech. Little Meech wrote to 50. He said, they just told me you unfollowed me off of Instagram. And now you managing Skilla Baby with Rocket. When I brought him around you first, when you didn't have a clue who he was. So right off the bat in this message, Little Meech throws that in 50 Cent's face. He said, yo, you unfollowed me and you're managing Skilla Baby when I brought him around you in the first place. You didn't have a clue who he was. You're going to throw that in 50 Cent's face within the first sentence of your message? Now you mad at me when I would take the shirt off my back for you. You don't need to take the shirt off your back for 50. 50 took the shirt off of his back for you. 50 Cent took a chance on Little Meech when he had no proven history of being able to act. 50 Cent's major investment in BMF could have been a flop by using an unproven actor. 50 took the shirt off of his back by taking a chance on you, Meech. For you to now actually, because of the fact that you put him on the Skilla Baby, for you to take offense to that is actually, in a way, something 50 should be taking offense to. I gave you a position in this industry. Now you're trying to throw that in my face? How about you go sign Skilla Baby and see how far it gets you? Now you're mad when I would take the shirt off of my back for you. I can't believe this, man. Maybe these are thoughts you should say for your head. I can't believe this, man. You're texting somebody, I can't believe this, man. But guys, it gets better. It gets better. I can't believe this, man. You act as if I'm your enemy. I've only showed you love and loyalty in human. I go through my own but I never switched up on you. Why would you switch up on your executive producer who's making your dream, your family's dream, become a reality? You actually had no reason to switch up on 50. 50 had reason to switch up on you when you brought a gun to an airport, man. Why would you have done that? You put BMF in jeopardy when you did that. You act as if I'm your enemy, you said? Listen, your dad just stood up with his enemy. Your dad just stood up with the only guy that actually defied Boo Boo. And 50 didn't mention you. 50 said, yo, if the show doesn't do good ratings, I might clip it. Any executive would clip a show that doesn't get good ratings. Any show will get clipped for not having good ratings. Name the show, go look it up. There's a lot of shows out there that get shut down, canceled if they have bad ratings. And 50 Cent, after seeing what your pops did, he's like, you know what? This isn't something I'm going to invest all of my interest in anymore. Invest a fraction of my very, very expensive time. You know what I mean? Important time. I'm not going to invest my time in this anymore because look what the family's doing. They're just running around biting the hand that feeds them. But Meech went on to say, F Ross, but he gave my dad some bread so he can afford to pay his bills until our next season starts. Don't ever tell 50 Cent about his enemies giving your family bread. You're getting money with my enemies? I have fun over there. Have fun over there with Rick Ross and his B-rated movies and his BMF movie ideas that will never come to fruition. Have fun over there with that when we actually created something that has a foundation, something that's real, and something that could live on for the next couple decades. Maybe I'm wrong, but I saw BMF having a potential of 10 seasons. This guy says F Ross, but he gave my dad some bread so he can afford to pay his bills. If I was Little Meech running around spending $3,000-$4,000 at a club every night, 3,000 plus, that's on the low end, you guys. I would have hit my dad up and said, Pops, I got some bread for you. The Rick Ross thing isn't a good idea. And we could actually possibly put together a welcome home tour through 50 Cent. And it could be very lucrative. Dad, Meech, here's DK. Here's 25,000 to hold you over to the next season. But I really can't believe that, man. I really can't believe that. That's a little bit greedy to me. You know what I mean? That's a little bit greedy to me that he's going to go get money with 50 Cent's enemies while 50 Cent is preparing a bag for them. Little Meech said he also said just the internet is messing with me. He said this internet is throwing me off. You know me in real life. So that's where Lil Meech is at with it. 50 Cent is just done with Big Meech at this point. Young Buck chimed in. 50 Cent threw some shots back at him. But like I said a little bit earlier, Little Meech got exposed to the point where he actually looked like Young Buck did back in the G Unit era. Little Meech maybe should have made a phone call if he wanted to get in touch with 50 at that point. But this whole thing of, sending a message and dissing 50 in the actual message and, feeling owed something when you've been given a career that you quite honestly weren't going to have based on your rap music, it's just the wrong way to go about the business, man. I wanted to come on here and talk about this, talk about 50, calling Big Meech out. This is just something we'd never thought we'd see. Calling Big Meech out for saying he tricked another dude, Cuffy, out of his freedom. You know what I'm saying? Meech to me served 19 years. I really wasn't questioning the whole 19 years coming out on a 30-year bid, you know. But drop some comments in the comment section. Let me know what you thought about it. Are you shocked that BMF and 50 Cent, obviously they're off the rails right now? 50's arguably his most powerful show. You know what I mean? I guess Tariq and Lil Meech won't be arguing about it no more. But I mean, Power Book 2 got canceled as well. So everybody that's watching this, man, drop a comment, hit the like button. Let me know what city and state you're representing. And make sure to follow me on social media, Mikey T _ the movie star, if you want to follow back. But I'm about to get out of here, man. Make sure you check out the Reed Dollars interview. That is one of the best interviews I've done in a while. Salute to Gat Taylor for my expert opinion, and also Gorilla Nems. He's got the new album coming out February 14th, Valentine's Day, America's Sweetheart. Gorilla Nems gave me an interview as well. And like I said, much love to Gat Taylor and everybody on the team. Salute to y'all, man. I'll catch you on the next episode. I'm out.